Welcome back to iGaming. Today we're going to be talking about what could possibly be one of the best survival games that launches into early access potentially in 2023, and that is Fractured VR. It is developed and published by Paddle Creek Games, and it is a exploration, horror, survival, PvP, PvE game. Something that makes this game stand out is it is actually set in Hawaii, so it is very bright, very vibrant. Everything on this island is absolutely gorgeous, and they've incorporated a lot of the Hawaiian culture into the game, which is actually really interesting, especially when you get to play it. Now, I did get to play this game with the Gamerneer team, so I've played a little bit of it, around about 4 hours so far. I'm going to be deep diving into a little bit more, but this is pretty much what you need to know about the game so far. You've got to survive alone or with friends in Hawaii, gather, build, do quests, craft, raid, and defend what you've built from the island's terrifying mutants, which come in actual waves every now and then, which is quite cool. And there's also the ability to defend against actual players. There are PvE and PvP zones, so it's not just one map where everybody's going absolutely nuts. That is obviously subject to change because the game is currently still in quite heavy development. It's been being developed for the past 6 years. And over the past few months, they've slowly started to release keys to backers of the game. So there is quite a small community of people that are actually playing it at the moment. If you do want to actually play it for yourself, then head over to their Discord. That's your best chance of getting a key there because they occasionally do giveaways. Currently, though, there is no actual way to buy or test the game. And we don't actually have a release date, which, you know, that's it. Release dates are pointless these days anyway, right? Everything gets delayed. So they could say the release date's tomorrow and then just delay it. It is what it is at the moment, especially with survival games. But it does say on their Steam page, coming soon. And there's a load of stuff currently out there already. So head down to the description if you do want to check it out and click the wish list. Do it. Support these guys. The game is awesome so far. Now, what you need to know about the game is it looks awesome. It looks beautiful. There is a hell of a load of crafting and a hell of a load of very minute details to almost everything in the game, which is nice. It's not just the big things that you are there and enjoying that are getting all the detail. There is a lot of detail in the fine things, which I love in games, and a lot of games tend to miss it. About the game, you need to survive a Hawaiian nightmare alone or with friends where you must gather, build, do quests, craft, raid and defend what you've built from the island's terrifying mutants, monsters, and worst of all, other players. Now, the game is going to feature a very detailed base building and tiered skill-based crafting system. Now, I've had a little bit of play around with the building, and I absolutely love it. It is very simple and has a nice little feature similar to 7 Days to Die, where you place your land claim block. They have something similar to that, which is called a totem. So you'll place that totem down, and then in an area around that, people can't build too close to you. So that stops anybody being able to sort of like build up to your base and jump over the roof or do anything like that. Obviously, think of Rust, you've got to build fortifications and keep other players away from your base, as well as the mutants. Now, the mutants are actually quite smart as well, which I found them a little bit difficult. It's hard to describe because they are smart, but at the same time they're not. It all depends on the level of mutant that you come across. But they are definitely a challenge. And in their Gamerneer stream, what they did was what's called a wave. So you had multiple mutants coming at the base, and that looked absolutely insane. I will try and get some footage of bits like that. In the next video, I'm going to do loads of random stuff. We'll look at the building and all that kind of stuff. But this one, as I said, is just a quick what you need to know about Fractured VR. Now, there's PvP and PvE quests as well, so it's not all about one or the other. I have spoke to the devs and asked them a couple of questions about PvE, PvP, and they have said the game is doable with PvE, but when you get into some of the raids and stuff like that, obviously trying to do them solo is definitely going to be a hell of a challenge. So you will need a group of players with you, even if you don't want to engage in that PvP aspect. Having just that group that you can build with, obviously that's going to make things much quicker too. Now, there's going to be loads of dungeons ranging from small to absolutely massive, as they say here, Diablo-inspired spaces. Now, I've had a little bit of a look through some of the dungeons so far, and they're not complete, but they are absolutely massive. Currently, at the moment, a few of them just have mass sprawling tunnels that are underneath the islands. But I imagine once those things have started to get filled, there are small areas that are filled and they look awesome and there's a lot of detail to them. But when they do get completely filled, that's going to create a hell of a nasty gameplay situation, especially if you're doing PvP. It's going to be absolutely nuts because they're tight, they're technical, but they go on and on and on. So you could have players down there literally next to each other and you might not know. Or you could have someone pop up right in your face, which is going to make the game really difficult, but also really fun, especially with that thrill of going out there and potentially getting your head blown off every 5 seconds. And they've also got a massive RPG-inspired player progression system with talents, abilities, and skills. Now, I've looked into them a little bit, but there's not really too much you can do currently. Obviously, that's something that they're going to expand upon and bring that to the game a little bit later on. They also feature day and night cycles with procedural building, roads, and river systems. Currently, some of the little towns are very, very cool. There's not that much in them as of yet, but obviously with the complete development of the game as they keep progressing, it's going to get much better. Also, there's going to be a hell of a load of fighting. That's going to be a big aim to this game. It's such a beautiful area, it seems strange. Because like I said, you don't really see this type of environment in a survival game. It's normally somewhere dead and the end of the world. But no, it is a absolutely beautiful place. The sun is shining, everything's pretty and colourful. And you're going to be having a hell of a load of fights in all that colour, which is always fun. You know, even in the dark and dingy games. But now we're going to have something pretty to look at whilst we blow everything up and destroy everyone and everything around us. There's also a food, water, and stamina system, so you are going to need to go out and hunt for animals and keep an eye on your actual fluids, which, you know, basic survival stuff, and it's quite simple as well the way they do it. I quite like it. It's not too out there like some games do, but it is enough to have to keep your eye on and something to be a little bit conscious about. Alongside that, there's going to be a massive open world featuring a 64 square kilometre map. Alongside that, as it's called a vale, we will be moving from one vale to another. Now, there's not too much on that yet, but that is pretty much the way it's going to work. We're going to be moving from server to server through these things called vales, which is very interesting. Now, they are continuously updating the game, which is always good. You know, absolutely love that they're working. But there's still, as I said, no date yet as to when this is going to be launching into early access. I'm very excited for this one. Let me know what you think down below. Fractured Vale, is it on your list or is it not? If it is, let me know in the comments. If it's not, let me know what you think could improve the game. For now though, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and stick around for much more survival content. I've been Wired, you've been awesome, and we'll see you in the next one.